One of the biggest mistakes I see people are making when they're polishing their vehicles, or even detailers too. And it's not something that's talked about a lot, but it's all about having a deep understanding about what's going on with these layers as we're polishing a vehicle. I believe it's really important, and it's the principle of friction. When we're polishing a vehicle, we're taking a little tiny bit of clear coat off your vehicle to restore the gloss, and it's removing all those imperfections that are causing that dullness. So like your swirl marks, your minor scratches, marks left behind from bug guts, bird droppings, tree sap, anything that's going to leave like a chemical mark in the surface of the paint. And the reason why we can do this is because of the byproduct of friction. So we all know you rub your hands together, you got friction going on there, and you're also creating heat. And heat is the reason why we can polish your vehicle. It's softening up this clear coat just enough that we can polish it. When we're polishing, the pads, the polishes, the compounds that we use, they're a micro abrasive, like really fine sandpaper. So when you're using sandpaper to sand wood, you can obviously see that you're removing material. When we're polishing, we don't necessarily see that we're removing the clear coat, but we are. If you're using wet dry sandpaper and you're using water as a lubricant just to rinse away the clear coat as you're sanding, you can see that water is going to turn a milky white, and that's the clear coat that's being sanded off. And again, it's that friction and heat that's allowing us to polish your clear coat. So the polishes we use have lubrication in them to help control this heat. And this is where my obsession and passion for having a deeper understanding of what's going on here really starts to come into play, because that heat, we all know when you have heat and you have cold, you have expansion and contraction, and that's exactly what is going on here. All these layers are going to react differently though to that heat. So you've got your panel, you got the panel of the body, the fender. It's going to be made out of steel, aluminum, fiberglass, plastic. Those are all going to react differently to heat. They're all going to dissipate heat differently. Then you've got the layers that make up your paint, your primer, your color coat, your clear coat. Those are all different chemically. They are all different. They are all going to react differently to that heat. And then on top of that, now you have the bond in between each one. Think of it like a rubber band. Take a rubber band, start stretching it in every which way as fast as you can. Eventually, that rubber band's going to snap. And that's exactly what's happening when you start applying too much heat. And this is exactly what happened to a gentleman I had come in a couple years ago, brought his car in and had me look at it. He had hazy spots all over the vehicle, just random spots here and there. So I did a test spot on one of them, and it didn't come out at all. And as soon as that happened, as soon as I did that, I realized what had happened. I went and talked to him. Turns out he had the vehicle polished a few years prior to that. So whatever happened, whoever was polishing it, maybe they were trying to take out scratches or something, but they were probably too aggressive with the paint. What ended up happening is they applied too much heat, and they actually broke the bond between the clear coat and the color coat in those areas. And that's what you were seeing, was that clear coat actually lifted off from the color coat and leaves this hazy mark that you cannot get rid of. And that actually you'll have to have, he had to have that car, I don't know if he ever did, but he was going to have that car repainted. So yeah, we can safely remove the scratches, the etching from bug guts and bird droppings and things like that. We can safely remove that stuff. But having a deeper understanding of what's going on, especially when it comes to removing scratches and things like that, having a deeper understanding of what's going on with these layers, the bonds between these layers, and what can happen with that expansion and contraction from the heat and the cold, and what each layer is doing as it's how it's being affected by that heat, is really going to help you do a safe job, especially if you're working on your own vehicle or if you're working on a client's vehicle. So I hope this video helped you out. I hope it gave you a deeper understanding of what's going on when we're polishing. I'll talk to you soon.